name. Good evening. I am Lexis Bill, and you're welcome to Personality Profile here on Joy 99.7 FM. I love Thursday evenings because we get to spend time with people who are actually making an impact in life in Ghana, of course, in the life of individuals as well. And this evening, I spent time with one such great man. And this man has a vast experience in natural resources management and environmental governance, both renewable and non renewable. He's a private legal practitioner, an astute politician, and an advocate of good governance. Now, he was a member of the 6th Parliament of Ghana. He served on the Select Committee on Lands and Forestry from about 2013 to 2017. He's a fellow of the Dankwa Institute and currently serves on several boards of reputable organizations, including Petroleum Commission, the National Development Planning Commission, Lands Commission, Forestry Commission, Ghana Maritime Authority, Trust Logistics Limited. Yeah. On the 6th of August 2020, His Excellency Nana Addo Kokofu appointed him as the Executive Director of the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, and he's the 11th person to occupy this position. Please help me welcome my big brother from Adiabeba in Kumasi, Honorable Dr. Henry Kwabena Kokofu. Doc, Akwaba.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
Bill, I'm fine.
Yeah, I was actually telling you earlier that you have an amazing shirt on. It's a very lovely shirt. Listen, we're live on Facebook right now. Go out there and look at his outfit. He's a fashion. No, your bugger kakao. Oh, pen life. I mean, your outfit is amazing.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah. Who picked it out? You did yourself?
Yes, I do. I do the
missus?
picking. Yes.
Yeah. What's with you in fashion? Are you open life, Anna?
Most probably, it be a life in a penny. I don't know.
Kumasi and Brands here, open life.
Yes,
Anyway, I'm glad you're on Personality Profile today.
Yeah.
I know you're a very busy man. How's your day been? How's your typical day like?
Yeah. Let me say good evening to our cherished viewers and listeners out there. And it's quite interesting to note that this is my first time of coming over.
Yeah.
Even though I've been seeing you from afar, watching you, listening to you.
Yeah.
And I must confess my appreciation for what you do.
Thank you so much.
And I really admire your vivacity.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's good for me to encounter you.
Yeah.
Today had not been bad like any other day. Court duty.
Okay.
My minister, the sector minister, Dr. Kokofu, MP, Minister for Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, gave me an assignment. The first thing this morning, he asked me, Minister, good evening out there. He asked me to be in his stead at a very important program.
Okay.
That was organized by the Presbyterian Church of Ghana and the moderator himself.
Oh.
General Assembly, yes.
I see.
Yes, Papa Professor Joy Mante and a host of other important dignitaries, the clergy, were all there. And the idea was to have a symposium looking at the church and the environmental, the ecological integrity of our country.
Okay.
So the theme was quite apt, and it was looking at the role of the church.
Yeah.
I mean, in general, in the general governance of our environmental systems.
Okay.
And for the minister to have asked me to represent him was quite a challenge, a big man like him with all the brains and all that. But I had to.
Yeah.
So I delivered the message of the master.
Yeah.
And I took opportunity to, as a messenger, also add my voice to
Yeah.
that. So that's how the day started. I ran back to the office. Environmental Protection Agency, and the files were waiting for me.
I can imagine.
Yes.
Currently, what are you most concerned with at the EPA?
Yes, it's a general thing. It's a state institution, and we are enjoined by the Constitution and the Act 490 that brought EPA into being. So the functions are well spelled out there.
But I'm just wondering what you are currently handling, the biggest thing you're handling now.
As the chief executive or the executive director, you have got to handle everything and provide stewardship, provide direction, and also lead in the service of mankind. The clientele, we call them proponent, and they are very, very important stakeholder to us. And that cuts across the entire nation.
Yeah.
So everybody gets there. Any activity requires environmental impact assessment. So we have a large army of clientele coming over. And you've got to listen to everybody.
I can imagine.
You've got to listen. And a lot of complaints also come in. People complaining about noise nuisance, complaining about sighting of filling stations, building in waterways, and all manner of things. Apart from the proactiveness of our staff down there, going through monitoring and evaluating what people are doing after licensing and permitting them. We welcome a lot of complaints.
Yeah. So a little over 3 years ago, your schedule was that of a parliamentarian.
Yeah.
You became the Deputy Executive Chief Officer of Ghana Integrated Iron and Steel Development Corporation as well. Yeah. And now you're with the EPA. Which one was more challenging?
Everything had been challenging. As a member of parliament, I represented the people of Bantama in Kumasi Ashanti region.
Yeah.
And the seat is today being occupied by Honorable Asen Subuachi. Good evening, Minister and MP. Yes, the Minister for Works and Housing. Yes. So it isn't easy to be among the 275 people that have been selected to legislate and, as it were, rule this country as the legislative arm.
So of these three positions, which was most challenging, or which is most challenging?
I'm just 7 months into the EPA, and I can assure you it's quite exciting, and it promises to be challenging.
Okay.
Challenging in the face of a lot to do, reforms, rebranding, having a new look, providing some kind of initiations and innovations, and solving problems that are legacy. You inherit, and you are bound to solve them, and also new ones that may come on board.
You know, I asked about your schedule because I was thinking that you're a lot busier now that we have renewed our efforts to halt the illegal mining. With the military exercise and all of that, the Operation Halt is in session and all. I thought you'd be a lot busier with that as well.
Yes, of course, but then it's a routine. It's something you do and you are called upon to do. My sector minister is more or less the backing force to the current Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. He has been tasked by the president to lead the affront. And so my ministry, the MESTI, through the minister, we are providing the backing vocals, you know.
Okay.
And so that not to say we are not active in there, very much active down there. We've been going around looking at what's happening, and the whole idea is to halt the decay, halt the damage, halt the destruction, and so we can find peace and time to regularize and formalize the small-scale mining sector. It's an industry that comes with its own importance and positivities. However, because of unregulation and that kind of free-for-all activities, attitude, and like my minister always said, they are free riders, you know. It makes it very cumbersome and not quite interesting.
Okay.
judging from the environmental damage that
Let me
we've
slow you
caused,
down
yeah.
a little bit because it looks like you've switched into work mode a little too much.
Ah,
But this is actually beyond working hours, so I'd want you to relax and
okay.
take it easy. Let's talk more personal matters now
Wow.
before you give another speech on behalf of the minister.
Ah, yeah, good to know.
I'm sure my listeners would want to know a bit about your growing up and where you hail from.
Yeah,
I know you're from Adiabeba, right? Is that where you were born and is that where you grew up?
yeah. Yes, my mom's in a Kwapim. I'm from Amanakro.
Oh,
Yes, in the mountains, yes. And my dad is in Ashanti.
okay.
He was from Adiabeba. And I thought, and I know you're going to ask me my name, Kokofu.
Yeah.
Yes, because
Are you the owner of that football team?
the why didn't you ask me if I'm the owner of the town, the famous town,
Oh, the famous
the
town.
famous town,
No, no. The one that comes to mind is the Coco football ball.
Oh, yes,
Unye ni ma yem paso, and I know
Yeah.
Sadam Kano.
yes, I don't know now. My hine, Ajo, and Kokofu my hine.
Yeah.
Now he had an opportunity to explain
Okay.
why that adage came on board. Time is not on our side, so
No, but I would want to know.
yes,
If you know it, please share it.
yes, he said, the chief said, Tete Hono, na se bobo ni adesha se with the at the coaster. Nti obo penny bidding ono de bobo ba interland kakra. Nti the Kokofu town was chosen as baby na ye chere nkwala bobo park no me ade.
Yeah.
Nti ofi hobai ofi penny fi coast to hobai nti oba Kokofu town na chese nti omu ball no na they saw him so ya oho no bobi ni ade. Nti obi am passport man nti o hear Dios wey nti Kokofu afo de mo ball uni ani mo on pass wa. Yes,
And
those
that's
days.
how we had that popular adage.
Yeah, popular adage. And Kokofu is a very important town when it comes to Ashanti Kingdom. My dad is also the son of Samahine, Otumfo Samahine.
Okay.
So I'm very much close to royalty
Okay.
and all that. And currently, the Oyo Otumfo Samahine, and now Sekweku, the third, Ononeme Papa.
Oh.
Yes. Nti Adiabeba nyina, you know Adiabeba well. Adiabeba Nshia
So
Konkromasi ni nyina ye ndia.
Eba besi ahonjo.
Besi ahonjo ni nyina sama hene dia. Nti me ohwe me sama hene na Kwabena Kokofu.
Oh.
Yes, the first. Me papa no. Na o ma 77, ti me papa na ni nuanu me 76.
Wow.
Yes, na
With how many women?
I know the actually
77
me kwa
children.
archives na ma hwehwamo.
Now what papa so wa he?
Me papa na mpe ne ho asem ti 21 pe. Nti me nuanu me 21.
Wow.
Yes.
And are you following suit?
No, say dad mpe ne ho asem nti me nso me mpe me ho asem papa.
Into when he?
Me my 10.
10.
Yes, 10 kids. I have 6 girls and 4 boys.
Wow.
Sure.
Are you done?
Very pretty ones, intelligent, brilliant kids.
Are you done?
Yes, I think so. I should be.
You're not. You don't sound confident in that.
Oh yes, I'm okay. I'm watching them growing up. Yes.
How old is the last one?
The last one is 11, Nathaniel.
Okay.
Yes.
Then you are done.
The first is Agneta Anita Aparebia Kokofu.
Okay.
Yeah, she holds masters in business administration, marketing executive.
But how was it like growing up with over 20 siblings?
Very interesting and quite good. Very supportive, supporting one another, and then yes, a large family.
You lived together?
Yes, we lived together. I mean, I don't penny for Bibrio. Yes.
In Adiababa?
A believe Ahunjo, Adiababa, North Interest of Bantama,
Yeah.
and then abroad all over.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Abroad all over. Maybe baby. And baby bia obeti edin kokofu bia no free that nana Kwabena Kokofu ni tree.
Okay.
Yes, we are all over the world. Free sama hine.
Okay.
Yeah, mention anytime bia obehu se otum for say tutua baby o announce asante hine bia ne fie opposite. I fie ho no ye me nana me granddad.
Good stuff.
Yes.
So it's safe to say you were from quite a wealthy family.
Well, I wouldn't say so. My dad was up to it.
What was he doing then?
My dad was depot keeper. He worked with Ghana Cocoa Marketing Board, then with GB Olivant, PZ.
Okay.
Those were the cocoa buying companies at the time. And he himself had large tracts of land, farmlands and all that, yes. And he was also a petrol dealer in petrol, yes. He had 3 filling stations.
Oh dear.
Yes. If you know,
then he was a wealthy man.
If you know Kumasi properly, the Zongo police station, Rex Cinema, the Total, it used to be BP, that's British Petroleum. It was for my dad.
Okay.
Aboabo #1, also BP, Name Papa there. And then I report Junction, Total now. It used to be BP, and also Name Papa there. So, and my dad used to have a kind animals, I don't know, or double, everything. Yes, and large farms, and
I see.
a fleet of cars.
So you were being modest about it. Your dad was a wealthy man.
I don't know. You can tell, but all that I knew was my dad was a hardworking man, very purposeful, very disciplinarian, and you won't take no for an answer. Yes, and the most important thing about my papa was then only man who cry. Yes, you make sure you are brought up the way he wanted it.
Okay.
The best one out of that.
Yeah.
Now, my grandmom, my papa, she was quite formidable, very,
Okay.
because she got married to Nana Kwabena Kokofu, the first the Sama Hine, and for her to be kissed with the entire town at the Abeba Sama Hine at the Nebetra or the Beman. Well, you know the BNI and all that at the Abeba.
Yes.
Yeah, BNI, Ufi Hoba, BNI, when I was about 7 years old or so, my grandmom, Ukuchasa, Senediama, Abaina, Seaside, she dragged us along.
You went along with her?
Yeah, I mean, an abrufu, and a banchifu, and then the right side where the Royal Park is, the Royal Park Hotel, a bar be doing a banchi of food, and the end. Until when the then government, a person who passes it. Zabra friend special branch.
Okay.
Yes, police special branch. No, you be an Timena na kuchasa say ama the char buying and all those things. I saw all of that.
Interesting.
Yes.
So you have I would say you had a privileged upbringing. What are some of the and you haven't actually mentioned your mom in this?
Yes, my mom was coming there. A very beautiful, intelligent woman. Who trekked down from Kwapin and came to Ashanti region, and she conquered, Yes, and my mommy was born Presbyterian, a very humble, beautiful young lady who came in. She spent the last years back home, Kwapin.
Okay.
Yes, and we lost her 1980. When did we lose the election? 2008. He lost the election in 2008, and I lost my mom along the line.
Wow.
Yes, it was quite a difficult thing.
I can imagine.
Yes, I was then chairman for Bantama.
Mm.
And we are gone for the first round. We couldn't win, and we were waiting for 28th for the second round. And my mom passed on the 13th, December 2008. So I had to keep her in the morgue until everything was over.
Yeah.
So we buried her on the 14th of February. That's Valentine's Day. And incidentally, it happens to be her birthday as well.
Oh.
So every 14th February is quite a mixed thing for us. We'll just get there, get to baby I see, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, about Kobompire. Say praise before Empire body. We knew who are going.
Moon through.
No more. So, you can Kobompire for Niso and all other departures.
Okay.
Afe yabetre fie na yedidi kakra because we are consoled say or Eja Abraham Kuku.
Good stuff.
Yes.
So now I'm still really interested in you growing up. You're from a very big family, had access to almost everything, a fleet of cars. Dad is doing very well, hardworking. You've got siblings as well that you look up to. Some look up to you and all of that.
Yeah.
What really were your interests then? And was there a certain career path you wanted to take?
Indeed, I was made by several. Of course, my no papa is the first to have brought you up, but I realized along the line, it's a school teacher, a friend of Madame Feliciadia. I should have prompted her, but maybe I've fatal let her be watching. I cannot stop thanking her. She made me, actually. Yes, because school was St. Cyprian's Anglican Boys' School. Oh, Kumasi, Asim. St. Cyprian's Anglican Boys' School that I attended my school. And I met this woman. She was very young then. She was our teacher. And she decided to mold me. And she took me through all manner of leadership activities and all that. And indeed, she would tell my class, in front of my class, that this your friend will one day be a leader, and you should all look up to her. She made it a point to teach me English. She wanted me to speak good English and write it as well.
And this was how old?
I was then 13 years, yes. She discovered me at 12, 13 years. Then I left there for secondary school. I went to Kumasi High School, Mranti.
Kuhis.
Yes, Kuhis, yes, Mranti. And right from
there.
there...
Truth conquest, isn't it?
Yes, Truth Conquest. So, very proud.
Yeah.
Yes, Mranti. So after O-level, A-level, as fate may be, I served at my father's business enclave. In fact, I ran the filling station at Rex Cinema.
Okay.
Yes.
How old were you then?
I was 21 years. So during the revolution days, 1979, I finished with my O-level, and 81 finished with the A. And around there, I was helping my father, running the station and all that, while I was waiting to go to the universities. So by 21 years, I wouldn't say I was a millionaire, but I was...
You made some good money.
Yeah, really.
Wow.
I tell you, yes.
Were you driving at the time?
Yes, I started driving my first car at the age of 19. By 21, I had two private cars.
What was your first car?
Toyota 160J. Do you know 160J?
I don't recall how it looks like. I need to look it up.
Datsun.
Okay.
Datsun 160J.
The Datsun 160J.
Yes, the number was GY 773.
Did you buy it or daddy gave it to you?
My dad gave it.
Okay.
I bought one by myself in addition, and it was Peugeot 504 green color.
Okay.
The number was GZ5225.
How old were you then when you got that?
21 years.
21 years.
Yes.
Just managing a filling station.
Yes, yes. And those were the days we had fuel shortages and all manner of things.
So you were
And
making some good money.
Yes, yes. And it was quite interesting. And there's a man, I don't know if you would like me to mention him, but yeah, you know Zell, S-E-L.
Self-filling stations?
Yes, self-filling stations.
One that's easily gone.
Yeah, the owner is a good friend. He's called Johnny Blagoji.
Okay.
At that time, Johnny was working with British Petroleum, and he was the officer.
Owned by your dad?
No, British Petroleum was a large company.
Okay.
Yes,
right.
British company. So my dad and all others were part of
British
the BP,
Petroleum. Okay.
the BP stations.
I
So
get it.
we take our products and everything from BP headquarters in Accra. And Johnny was the schedule officer, young schedule officer at GAEP, what we call today TOR. It used to be GAEP. That's Ghana Italian Petroleum Company.
Okay.
Yeah, so Italians built TOR,
Oh.
the facility. Yes, it used to be GAEP. And that time, you have got to wait for your turn for the rationing of fuel and all other things. So I would travel from Kumasi, come down to Tema, see Johnny. And Johnny was the schedule officer. And if it is left with one drop of fuel, I'll get it and take it to Kumasi. That's how close I was with him. And I thank him very much for those days. And I'm very happy he graduated into it. And today, he owns Zell. He's been a hard working young man. So I know the inside out of downstream petroleum activities. Yes, I do. I do have a great insight in there.
So how long did you run the petrol station for?
For about 4 years. I refused to go to the university then because I had indicated I want to go abroad and join some of my siblings there and study over there.
Oh.
Much against the charging of my mom and dad. They did not want it. As a young man wanting to explore, and out of curiosity, I left for Germany. Yes, Berlin in 1985. I got to Berlin in March, just about 2 weeks. Then Dada Lumba, Charles Kojofusu, Nana Champo and Co. also came in, they joined. So we met at a point, we converged at a point, and we were together as brothers, and we lived together.
So you lived with Daddy Lumba?
Yes.
Nanette Champon?
Yes. So
in Germany?
Yes. So I was...
Miyaka Quantum days.
That is it. And you hear Kwabena Kokofu and region in there, yes.
Oh.
Yes, so I was an originator. I was part of the beginning.
Wow.
Yes, of Lumba Brothers. And I was in there.
So when you headed to Germany, what were you going to do? Just live and make life?
No, the idea was to further education.
Okay.
But I got there, and indeed the language barrier was quite difficult. And because I did not seek for scholarship before going, it became difficult. I had to work and then go to school as well.
What work were you doing then?
Any other manual. That is where I regretted ever traveling. Yes.
Why? What work exactly were you doing?
I was ushered into dishwashing at a restaurant by one of my siblings. I mean, he had been there, so they took me there. And in the kitchen, I started weeping, cried. And I knew I had taken a wrong decision.
Wow.
So from there, I graduated into doing other better jobs until finally I became a foreman at a cleaning company, a very big cleaning company. That was very good. Gave me some money. But then I swore to myself to return, to get back home, and then to go back to school and re-engineer my life again.
And this whole time, Daddy Lumba and Nana Echampon were still there?
Yes, we were still there until 1993 when, as friends, we met one day. We were on the booze and all those things, making fun. Then I said, I will leave for Ghana. I'm going to Ghana. I'll not come back to Europe until something else better has brought me.
And they had started music by the time.
Oh, yes. The Yaka Quantum was released 1986.
Yeah.
Yes, 1986. So, 87, I came down to Ghana to come and see my dad and all that. 88, I went back. And
They didn't influence you into getting into music too?
they tried to, but
You couldn't. You just couldn't sing.
yes, I don't have it. So I told Charles, Kojo, I'll pray for you guys. I'll be with you. I'll guide you and continue to support you. But I can do it. Simply,
Yeah.
I simply can do it. I can't even sing Danasi. So how was I going to do?
For a Presbyterian who goes and.
But now I can sing something.
So you can sing a hymn.
Yeah.
A hymn.
Yes, I
Which
can,
one?
I can. But don't tempt me.
I want to tempt you.
You see, the point is,
I'm also a Presbyterian. I'll back you. Don't worry.
and you see, the Bible says, so ready Nyankopɔn here.
Just one hymn. I think at this point we need a hymn. We're both Presbyterians here. If we don't sing a hymn, that'll not be good. I mean,
You see, I will not do because I can't do it any better. I will let you do
okay. You tell me what hymn you want us to sing.
anything.
I'll start.
Anyone, anything.
Montojo mpama ajekwa.
Go ahead. Yes.
No, Bamie.
And that's my deficiency.
Okay.
I'm not good at music at all. Even though I do love listening to music,
Aye.
but I never took interest in singing by myself.
Okay.
So at that time, I was just supportive and very active, seeing my colleagues, Daddy Lumba and Nana Champon, blossom into stardom. And it was okay. So I told them I want to go back to Ghana, go back to the fundamentals. I mean, go back to school. And then in 30 years to come, those of us, those who rule Ghana, will be part of that. That was what I told them.
Wow.
Far back then. So 1993, I packed bag and baggage and left Germany for Ghana.
You mentioned that Dad Lumba mentioned you and your wife Janet
Yes.
in a song.
Yes, yeah, I can.
So it means you met Janet very early on in your life.
Oh yes, we were friends here before I left for Germany, and I came for her.
Okay.
Yeah, 1986. Yes, so we were all there.
Oh, right.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So now you're back in Ghana, and what did you come to do?
Yes, back in Ghana, I decided to set up something. The idea was to go back to school, but I needed to have a footing and a foundation.
Were you broke by the time you came?
No, I came with a lot.
You came with a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of things, cars and all that.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I wasn't broke. So I started some businesses and running, and I found interest in the forest. So when the time came for me to go back to the university, I chose to read natural resources. So I went to KNUST.
When you say you found interest in the forest, how did that come about?
Yes, my uncle, whom I've succeeded, was a senior officer at the forestry department then.
Okay.
In fact, he was the head of human resource. Those were the days of Mr. Kofi Century, very famous when it comes to forestry issues and all that. And then Johnny Francois and others, that time forestry department. It metamorphosed to forestry commission onwards. So with that background, family background, I developed interest in there. And those were the times that teak was that popular.
Okay. Okay.
Teak plantations have been, and it was being exploited for, on commercial basis.
Yeah.
For the world market and all that. So I took part in interest in there. and that generated my interest in the forest activities and natural resources. And indeed, back in Germany, looking at the environment and the setup and the greenery and all others, I found a great deal of interest and love for nature.
Okay.
And I also got to know that if you get closer to these Europeans, as much they grow better in standards of life and age, they get closer to nature. They get to nature more. So when I came back home and I exploited the opportunities of my uncle in that subsector, my interest was re-engineered.
And that's why you took the Natural Resources Management
Yes.
course at KNUST.
Yes, at KNUST.
Yeah.
So I finished with the first degree and immediately went on to do the master's.
In agroforestry.
Agroforestry. So at agroforestry, you see in forestry the interface between forestry and agriculture, and both activities requires land, vast land use. So you then want to see this is a piece of land. Do I maintain my forest on it, or do I cut the forest and take on agricultural venture?
Yeah.
Because you need man must eat.
Yeah.
And you know, Ghana agriculture is a major it's a major employment opportunity. So agroforestry is a concept that tends to blend agriculture and forestry.
Okay.
The interface, the same land mark, the same piece of land, then you are increasing the land use, the multiple land use activities. So you'll be getting your forest with all its positivities and advantages, whilst you'll be doing your agriculture in a very
And you
smart
didn't
way.
stop there. You're actually doing a PhD in environmental science now.
No, after the master's, I enrolled for PhD in natural resource management.
Oh.
And my professor, I think 1 year into that program, law was advertised at KNUST. So I remember one weekend, Friday, I got to my professor and told him, I want to put a break on the PhD program. He said, why? I said, I want to go and read law. He said, no. You soon finish with your PhD. Why you want to go and read law? I said, so he asked me to go and think over. So on the Monday, I got to his office. He's even deceased, Dr. Charles. I got to his office and asked him to endorse the form for me. I said, I told you to continue. I said, no. So I went.
But what made you decide to do law?
Yes, I'll get to that. But it was in me. It was something naturally that came up. And it had some antecedent. I'll get to that one. So I went and registered and got enrolled at law. So lawyer TK at UTV fame, he was my mate. I mean, we were the pioneers. And we started law in Kumasi, KNUST, the LLB. So I did the LLB. And from there, I went to do the BL, the Bachelor of Law degree.
Yeah.
And from there, I got to Parliament. I was called to the bar 2013. So in Parliament, I went to University of Ghana and Faculty of Law, and enrolled for Masters in Law, Petroleum Law, Oil and Gas.
Okay.
So I finished that one.
This was when you were serving as a member of Parliament for Bantama.
Yes, when I was 7. So I got in there. And 2015, I lost the primaries at Bantama. So knowing that I was not going back to Parliament, then I decided to continue.
Why do you think you lost the primaries?
Well, the delegates decided. So I need not.
You didn't perform better?
I did my best.
Because you actually won in 2012 by about 83%.
Yeah.
In the election.
Yeah, and you don't ask why you lost, because you don't ask why you won when you are a victor.
I would want to know why you won.
Um,
Was it because, I mean, I'm not sure it was only because the seat was it's been an MPP seat since 1996.
yeah.
Was that why you won?
No, that would be my political angle. If I had finished with the education, I would come there.
We don't have that much time. That's why I was actually
okay,
trying
you want to come in?
double it. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, I had been in the forefront of Bantama politics, Ashanti politics, and New Patriotic politics for quite a long time. Having started as polling agent, lecture area coordinator, and coming through as the constituency chairman for 2 terms, and finally landing myself as the MP. So you get to a point and too much familiarity, you know, and people would like to naturally want to change.
Okay.
I mean, they want to see new faces.
Okay.
Sometimes it does not matter your performance level.
Okay.
You know.
I get that.
You can be the best, but people say you've had enough.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite good. Then dynamism. So I wasn't worried, and knowing that I was not going back to Parliament, then I decided to enroll for PhD at Environmental Science.
Okay.
2016. Professor Chris Gordons was the director at the Institute of Environment Science and Technology, and now he's my leading supervisor.
Okay. So you're not done with that yet?
Just a few things.
And then you're done?
Yeah, the thesis are done. But along the line, I had to run a course to get Masters at Leadership and Management at London Graduate School.
I see.
And then University of Belize in Singapore also decided to honor me honoris causa with LLD, doctorate in law.
Okay.
Yes. So
you've been busy.
Yes.
You've been busy.
Yes.
Let's talk about work now. Of course, earlier we talked about the renewed efforts to halt illegal mining with the military operation and all of that. You think that's the best approach in solving that issue?
Let me finish the last thing. I think, and I know I have something that goes with time management, combining doing so many things at the same time.
Okay.
I know it's a rare, not too common, not practical thing, but I get it done. I always get it. Okay. So on this Galamsey thing, I call it second wave of the halt Galamsey, and we are on course. The president, in his own vision, has tasked the sector minister to undertake that assignment, and that requires the support of everybody, including myself, yourself, institutions, and society, civil society organizations, and all that. And I must confess here that the president had been quite appreciative of the fact that Ghanaians have rendered their support at the first instance in 2017, and people still have the passion to support him. What is left to be done is those who find themselves in the industry or in the subsector should accept and appreciate the fact that we are not in normal times. We've sat down and had systemic failure all over the time. We were unable to match monitoring and match regulation with the influx of mining activities. All of a sudden, we found ourselves in a mining boom, and it got exploded in the face of all of us. And research has shown that since 2011 coming, Ghana saw the edge for so many people wanting to go into mining, and the small-scale mining activities then degenerated into illegalities and all that. And now today, you cannot differentiate the dichotomy between a legal small-scale miner and illegal small-scale miner. It's so slim.
Yeah.
The line is so slim for you to differentiate. So that also adds to the abnormality of the time that we find ourselves. So the exigencies of the time and then the animosity of the distraction calls for extra effort to be done. So it's in the right direction if people are being recalcitrant. People don't want to listen to common sense and stop work, let us formalize, let us regularize. And he refuses to do that. The very instrument, the equipment that is meant for construction itself lends itself for destruction if it is used to destroy.
So I think one of the things people have been moaned is the burning of the excavators, for example.
Yes.
I mean, something these machines could be confiscated and used for more beneficial purposes or projects. Some even refer to the 2006 Minerals and Mining Act, where special provisions are made on how what we call tainted property, that's property used to commit a crime, may be seized and then confiscated to the state by court orders and all of that, making the president's order to burn on site is somewhat a breach of the law.
It is not. The law frowns on the misuse of machinery in this regard. The law frowns on, and
so you support the burning of the excavators?
I support any action that will halt the onslaught on our environmental landscape. Any action that is premised to halt the onslaught, because we cannot sit aloof and then look on while a few section of our kinsmen will take the law into their hands and out of greed, out of non-respect for rules and regulations, will plunder all of us into an abysmal doldrums of despondency. Indeed, a quagmire that we find ourselves. So it calls for an extra effort, as I said.
Okay.
And banning the excavators should be what? It should be a warning itself. I mean, it should serve as a deterrent, a great deal of deterrent for those who
are in it,
are in it and want to continue.
When I shared that you were going to come on the show, one of the things, I mean, a few people reached out with their concerns. One of the things that they were concerned about was noise pollution in Accra. Preachers taking over every street corner in Accra. Is this something the EPA is concerned about?
Very much so.
Has anything been done about it?
Yes, we do have noise monitoring systems, and once we get the complaints, we walk in there or we troop in there to see what's happening. Churches, yes, but of late, nightclubs and bars that are springing up in hitherto residential areas is also becoming very, very nuisance for residents, and the complaints have been coming. You've had cause to close down bars and other facilities, and as it were, force them to adhere to the rules. There are a lot of these activities going on, and EPA is up to the task. But again, institutional failure over the years has not helped. People do not even know that as a church, you cannot go ahead and then make all manner of noise and get yourself scot-free. You are walking through towns, cities, and this man is blasting the microphone, selling his kukwedu. The other is preaching. The other is doing that, and all manner of things.
But is the EPA doing some education on this?
Primarily, the responsibility lies with the local government systems, the metropolis, municipals, and the district assemblies. They have in their bylaws these measures to curb some of these things within their jurisdiction.
So then where does the EPA come in then?
The EPA comes in when things get out of hand on them. So what we intend doing now is to be hard on those institutions, state institutions, force them to live up to expectation. And very soon you get to know that EPA is suing or is dragging most of these state institutions to court.
Well, we need to see that because I don't think a lot has been done in that direction. Because now you're telling us is the local government institutions and
That's why I said I've been a systemic institutional failure. It's been quite a long time.
Do we hope to see changes under your tenure?
It is. Changes are manifesting. Very soon you also attest to that. We've embarked on rebranding and repositioning the EPA, the assertiveness. We've gone to get the law. Indeed, some of our laws are even being looked at for change.
Well,
and
it's like,
and the awareness creation and the education has been very paramount, and particularly the interview we are having, and if you've been very much apt nowadays, EPA is all in the news, moving here and there. I've toured almost 4 regions now. I still have to do the rest, and at any point we are bringing to 4 most of these environmental issues.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't want this conversation to be too much about work, so I'll hold you there so we can wrap up.
But let's find a good time. To do this.
To delve more into, because there are a lot of areas that we really need to talk about. And you've got stories for days as well, so I'm looking forward to that. But as we wrap up, maybe a last word of advice in just 30 seconds, probably from your life experiences.
Well, my, I'm still youth. So, yes.
No comments.
Yes, you need not. So, my colleague youth out there, this goes to you. Life is a journey. It's not a 9-day wonder walking. Don't rush into things. Don't throw your hands in despair when expectations are not met. Don't confuse yourself and think that you failed. You haven't even started anything yet. The trying moments are even yet to come. All you need to do is to hold on your faith in God, and then adhere to rules and regulations. And make sure that your focus remain as a Ghanaian who want to grow up and add on to the development of this country.
Thank you so much, Honorable Dr. Henry Kwabena Kokofu, for joining us here on Personality Profile. I've enjoyed talking to you. God bless you so much. Time for the latest update in news, and NS Kojo has the details.
Hello, welcome to the headline news at 8 with me, Ernest Minu. The minority in parliament is piling pressure on government demanding full disclosure on the alleged